Hello, everybody, everyone who watches this. Um, it's been a really shitty start to 2025. And it's only been a month and what, 2 weeks? As a matter of fact, this has been the shittiest start to a year in all of my 42 years on this planet. And that's including being in jail at the beginning of 2021. Just the loss of life, kidnapping of cats, and earlier today having to euthanize our cat Solo. It takes a toll. It's taken a toll. So I don't know how this episode of the tripod is gonna go, but I guess enjoy the show.
What are you back to drinking? Jesus Christ. This nigga done flew off the handle.
Hey Cesar.
What's up?
So what is your Waffle House order?
Is this how we're starting?
Cheers.
Okay. There, true. And this nigga done fell off the wagon.
First drink in 14 months.
Yeah. Thought this nigga stick said 5 minutes. All right, what's my Waffle House order? First of all, you got to get the All-Star special. It's just a classic. You get the All-Star special. So it comes with eggs, you get them shits with cheese. You getting the hash brown. You get them shits smothered, covered, chunked, smothered, covered, smothered, covered, and chunked. Yeah, you get them smothered, covered, and chunked. You damn right.
What's chunked?
Ham.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, you get the onions, the cheese, and the ham. Get that shit in there. Now that's the extra meat. Pause. Because you're definitely getting it with the bacon, right? And all star. Then you ask for a bowl of the prison grits, right? Extra butter. You got to get the prison grits
Oh,
because
wow.
Waffle House only know how to make prison grits, all right?
Okay.
So that's gonna stick to you. See, that's gonna get you through the drunk sleep. Then you get that waffle, you get that some bitch with chocolate chips. Okay, that's what you really do. You get that waffle with the chocolate chips, and now you got your eggs, you got your bacon, you got the hash browns smothered, covered in chunk. You got the toast. Damn right, toast and waffle, nigga. That's how we live here. You got the toast with the jelly. Can't forget the jelly. You got the prison grits, and you get that waffle with chocolate chips. And that is how your drunk ass can survive the night and be ready for tomorrow. That is a Waffle House order. See, them boys,
Wait,
them
wait,
boys
wait,
that are
wait.
wrestling.
Nothing to drink?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry. You gotta get the sweet tea. You gotta get the sweet tea.
Oh, sweet tea. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta get the extra diabetes. You gotta get the sweet tea. See, them boys on the wrestling, they order all that shit because they just burned up
Yeah.
80,000 calories
Mhm.
in the damn ring. See, I'm just trying to survive tomorrow because I gotta take my ignorant ass to work. But that is the true drunk man's Waffle House order.
See, Cesar, even Trish Stratus has a Waffle House order. If you've seen
I
it's
think
on
she's a goddamn legend.
TikTok. Yeah, she said that she crosses the Canadian border
Hmm.
especially to go to Waffle House,
You damn right.
which
She a
gives
legend.
Trish Stratus, yeah, she's just got some more street cred because unfortunately we found out over this past week that a certain tripod. Well, not tripod. A certain SRAP favorite
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like the Waffle House. Unfortunately, the Nigerian giant, the current chicken and ironically, the current chicken and waffles champion in APBW does not like Waffle House. He's an IHOP man, Caesar.
You can't trust a man like that. IHOP don't even know if they want to serve pancakes or burgers. Remember that bullshit?
IHOP.
Mm-hmm. Nah. Um, I don't care if this nigga is from the motherland. I took his black card. Okay, he is not black in February. He has no February man powers. Okay. He definitely ain't making the coalition cookout for the rest of the year. He's banned from there for the rest of the year. Um, nah. Mm-mm. Gonna go to some IHOP, nigga. For what?
Even
Some
I
pancakes?
don't go to IHOP. Even I don't go to IHOP, Caesar.
Yeah, I love pancakes. Okay. I love pancakes. Pancakes are good.
Mhm.
But everybody knows the soul of the chef who's got half a blunt in his ear at that damn Waffle House. Hell, I've been to Waffle House one time. Nigga didn't even have on shirt. He had on a beater and the
The
damn apron.
apron, yeah.
Slept like a baby that night. What I tell you, I tell you, if that food was a fight, if me and that food got in a fight, it was a Brock Lesnar match. Shit was in and out, bro. I got shit to do. I gotta go home, take a mean shit, and get some sleep. Okay, that food was gone in an instant, bro. The crazier and more ratchet the Waffle House, the more better the food. Everybody knows that.
So Caesar, what you said for your order, we would, the tripod would go to the Waffle House.
Hmm.
I would have Caesar order first. And when the lady, I don't know if she has her pad out and writing it
Yeah,
down.
she has a pad. They old school like a pad.
Let's go. Okay, they got the pad. She'll say, and how about you, hun? Or whatever they say. And I would be like,
That's about
what?
right.
I'll have what he's having. Also, could I get a stack of pancakes, please? Because I don't know if it's a crime to order pancakes at a Waffle House,
It's
but
not.
I'm a massive fan of pancakes, especially as of recently. So I definitely need to try them pancakes. And so she would be like, okay, okay, fat whitey. All right, now skinny whitey, sticks. What's your order, hun?
I get a stack of fucking pancakes with extra fucking artery clogging butter. I want that shit just fucking. I want that butter just fucking overflowing the plate, and then I might want to see if I can get a extra side plate of just fucking stacked of bacon. I'm a simple fucking man. Just give me bacon and fucking pancakes and let's fucking roll.
That sounds good. How could I forget bacon?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
But if you're feeling froggy, they do have the cinnamon toast.
ooh.
I'm just saying, sometimes you got to treat yourself.
You
Usually I
know,
just get the All Star and roll, but the cinnamon toast is different.
I make cinnamon pancakes. When I make the batter, I put cinnamon in it, mix it up, tastes
Yeah.
good. I wonder if they could do that too. And hey, I'm not trying to break the menu over there. I would make a suggestion, but I don't want to
Yep.
get stabbed. So maybe I won't make it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Yep.
So I saw a movie. It's up for Best Picture. It's called The Substance. And The Substance stars Demi Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Demi Moore pushing 60, still looking fine. Very fine, actually. And this movie is a trip and a half. If you gentlemen can check it out. It's not, I don't believe it's available on VOD yet, but I do have my resources. But when it does come out, I highly suggest you watch it because knowing that it's nominated for Best Picture is blowing my mind because it's grotesque. How can I put it? It starts out like a Cinemax movie. It starts out like a Cinemax movie. It evolves into a Black Mirror episode, and then it ends as a Trauma movie. And I don't know if you're familiar with Trauma, but Trauma is responsible for movies like The Toxic Avenger, like the most disgusting, horrific, shitty B movie you'll ever see in your life. So it starts out Cinemax, evolves into Black Mirror, finishes as a trauma movie. It is a trip and a half, but my God, there's super close-ups of ass, super close-ups of titties. It's incredible. The acting was phenomenal. The special effects were phenomenal. But again, the way it ended, it almost borderline Japanese exploitive movie. How over the top it takes the Kill Bill gore and it goes up 15 notches. How it's nominated for Best Picture blows my fucking mind. Because if you go in years past, movies that have been nominated, and you look at this, you're like, what are these people smoking to nominate this movie? But I highly recommend The Substance. Definitely check it out. The worst thing about the movie, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. That's a long movie. But luckily I could pause it when I was home and stuff. But so I'm just saying, when you're able to watch it at home, please let me know. I would love to know your thoughts on The Substance starring Demi Moore. Sticks, any movies have you been watching lately?
Uh, this one's kind of a little bit older one, but I jumped on Netflix and I sat down with the old lady and we watched I'd already seen it, but we watched Extraction with Chris Hemsworth.
Hmm.
They just came out with the second one here on Netflix, and I think fuck, the second one might be getting close to be a year old. So really a lot of action. Um, I thoroughly enjoyed it. She enjoyed it. We at some point are going to sit down and watch the second one. Otherwise, I have uh I have the third Venom movie queued up that I need to actually sit down and watch. I've been putting that off for quite a little bit here, but I have a little bit of vacay time coming up here at the end of this week, so I'm gonna dive in and watch a boatload of movies. So, but other than that, just Extraction. About maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, when we were doing our movie thing, I would jump on the Peacock and I would look for I wouldn't even call them B-rated horror flicks, but I would watch some C, D, F-rated horror flicks, and started jumping down a rabbit hole of I think there's like three of them on there. I think it's called The Curse of Humpty Dumpty.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, just not don't even watch, just look at some of the names of like for me, I look at the names of horror flicks of Peacock, and there's three of those because I sat through and I watched two movies of Winnie the Pooh,
Oh
Blood
my
and
God.
Honey. Yeah, yeah, third one coming, by the way, guys. Third one coming. Can't wait to
Wow.
watch because this is the same studio that I believe is what that is doing Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So I watched that. I vaguely remember it because obviously it wasn't that great, but it was not where I would not recommend you guys watching it. I watched these because and after watching wrestling, I have a lot of time to kill after that, and so I had jumped down that rabbit hole and started watching that. And I have I think the next two that seem to show up on my queue when I jump on Peacock, and I need to sit down and watch those when I need to kill about 5 6 hours of my day.
So 2 years ago, I started doing a thing on Facebook where I would give you my five best movies of the year and five best TV series of the year. Well, the first time I did that, I believe the honorable mention was for worst movie of the year. And my worst movie of the year 2 years ago was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It was, I mean, the concept was interesting, but the execution was bad. It was horrifically bad. I was like, wow, I wasted my time. Come to find out, like Styx had said, there are multiple movies in this universe. They're calling it the Pooniverse. And it's kind of gonna be like an end game thing. I guess at the end of all when all the movies are said and done, they're gonna all come together. This is a rumor I heard. They're gonna have Winnie the Pooh. They're gonna have, like you said, what was it?
Peter Pan,
Peter
Neverland
Pan.
Nightmare.
All the fables are gonna come together and just go on a fucking killing spree. I don't know who's gonna stop them, but I can't believe you were able to sit through that. Caesar,
Yeah.
but it's been a minute. since we all gathered. But do you have any recently watched movies or TV shows you would like to talk about?
Not any TV shows. I kind of fell off on watching. I just keep getting in YouTube spirals. But I did see The Substance, and it's a really good movie.
Oh, you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
What did you think of that fucking ending, dude? That was
Uh, yeah, the ending
wow.
seems like the longest part because it didn't seem like a long movie. When it gets cooking in the middle. But the ending did seem like the longest part. Yeah, that shit was fucking crazy.
That was,
Yeah.
can you believe it's nominated for Best Picture? Can you believe that shit?
I can because if you look at the psyche of the movie, like it really has to do a lot with women's mental health.
Yeah,
I want to say
but
because
talk
like
about taking it into an insane direction at the end.
yeah, yeah, was that was just old school horror movie shit.
Yeah, yeah,
At the
very
end,
old school. Yeah.
yeah, that was like 70s, 80s horror movie type
Yeah,
crazy
that
fuckery.
that was some crazy ass B movie trauma
Hmm.
hardcore shit. Sticks, if you were able to sit through Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I think you'll
Yeah,
appreciate this movie. You got to check it out. I don't know if you should
yeah.
watch it with your chick because there's a lot of close-ups of naked ass, hot naked ass, and twerking and
Hmm.
I mean, you might want to rub one out before you watch this so the your chick doesn't notice that you're popping wood while watching this. But I mean, it's insane. It's one of the most insane movies I've ever watched.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really really good, but it's fucking crazy.
It was my favorite Demi Moore movie ever.
Oh man,
I
this
mean,
isn't better than Striptease. Come
Striptease was
on, son.
good. Striptease was good, but I mean, this was like
Striptease was hilarious. That old dirty coon was was hilarious. That motherfucker was getting the fucking laundry. He said, called him the laundry leavings.
I just appreciate
And that
the
bitch was oiled up.
close-ups
And he was
of the
oiled
dude.
up like Diddy.
Also,
Nah, but she's been in better movies. So yeah, she's been in way better movies. But this was a really good movie. This was a really, really good movie.
I also just watched Heart Eyes, which just came out to theaters this past
Mhm.
week. It's exactly what you think it's gonna be. It's a silly horror slasher. It's satirical, so it's kind of making fun of itself, which makes it
Mhm.
funner. It's funner to watch because you're like, oh, I don't have to take this serious because it knows it's making fun of itself. Check it out if you just it's a silly if you want to go to the theater with a girl, go for it. Sticks, take your woman if there's a theater within the 3 towns of you. Go to the fucking theater, check this out for a date night. It's silly. It's a silly good time. But there you have the movie, unless you have another movie to talk about, Caesar.
No, I don't think I've seen anything else. No, it was just
Okay.
yeah, I need to get back in some shows and catch up on some old bullshit.
Before the
It
Oscar
looks
air,
it
I'm going
looks like looks like we've got some good, pretty good ones coming up on the horizon. I know I've sat down, I think about a week ago and just looked up movie trailers for this year, and then obviously watching the Super Bowl last night. I mean, they've got looks like we've got some good ones coming up here on the horizon the next 3 to 4 months. So, I mean, it looks like
Yeah,
Hollywood got their shit back.
looks like yeah.
yeah, we got Captain America, which is going to be obviously horrible, but I'm still going to check it out. But speaking of the Super Bowl, the Eagles went and smashed the Chiefs yesterday. That was shocking. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I was like, didn't it seem like Patrick Mahomes was checked out until the fourth quarter? Like the fourth quarter came around and he finally like, all right, let's play some ball. Like he was in autopilot most of the entire game until the final quarter, and then they caught up
Hmm.
like 22 to 40. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
why didn't he do that the whole fucking game? But I
If he
guess
would have done the whole, it would have been a way better game.
it would have been a blowout. Like it would have been a more entertaining game. But Sticks, how many somersaults did you do in your living room? What did you think?
Well, I didn't start celebrating until about maybe 5 minutes left in the fourth, just because if anyone was going to come down, come back, like even talking, like even going to halftime where it was like 24-27 to nothing.
Yeah.
You know, we saw what Tom Brady did, and obviously he was doing the game, but we've seen Super Bowl pass of being up by like 20 something points and then racing, and just knowing that one is Patrick Mahomes. Two, him and Andy Reid, like it seems like they could score 20 points in maybe like 3 minutes. Like, even though they've changed like a lot of the rules, you can onside kicks, you can score a touchdown, get a 2 point conversion, onside kick, things can go wrong. So I wasn't celebrating until about 5 minutes left in the fourth. But the thing that was really interesting was they were getting pressure on him without blitzing. Like that defensive line showed up, and we had heard throughout the whole season how that Kansas City offensive line wasn't the greatest. And if you could get pressure on him, you could. I think even Rob Gronkowski was talking about when they were in Tampa Bay, 4 down linemen, get the pressure, keep him in the pocket, get him happy feet, and you'll disrupt him. They must have watched the tape. And finally, I think for a whole game, that defense, you could question the second half, but for the first half, that defense showed up, got pressure, and made him move around, made him get happy feet, picked up sack. I mean, I thought they were going to break the sack record. Like they were one sack away from I think either tying or breaking the Super Bowl record. I think it was Sweat had 2.5 going into halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought all around game wise, I thought it was probably the best game outside of that just throw that interception. But I thought it was the best game Jalen Hurts has had in his NFL career. Like he talked about sitting there in the first Super Bowl and like taking it all in, the loss, watch the confetti. I mean, and he did. He came out right away. And if you had told me Saquon Barkley had under 65 yards rushing, I would have told you that we were probably screwed, because he had been the motor for this team the whole year, and they came out to prove that they were going to shut him down and basically make Jalen beat him, and Jalen showed up. So great night around the sticks, the drip household. We were all happy. When they threw that first penalty flag for offensive pass interference, I was like, oh shit.
Here we go.
Really?
Here we go.
I was like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, shit, because even Brady was like, you could throw that for just about every play. I mean, you're gonna hand to hands, but they seem to not want to call out penalties. If they did, Philadelphia false started on a lot of punts or a lot of field goals. But our kicker showed up last night, and everything seemed to go right. So awesome night.
Yeah, I mean that kicker, he did not miss once. Even when he had to redo the first kick, like he got both of them. He got the one from the 43 and the 48. And like that dude was on fire. I hope he got a bonus at the end of the night. But it was a great game for it to be an Eagles fan, but somber around the Mangria household because our cat has heart disease. He actually had three terminal illnesses. So we had one eye on the game and one eye on him the entire day, and we didn't have the heart to take him to the vets last night. We gave him one more night on Earth, and today we went to go euthanize him. He was only 2.5 years old. His name was Solo, and yes, I understand the irony. I love you, Solo. Big ups to Solo. It's been a rough day today. But Cesar, if you can do Whitey a favor, I'm ignorant when it comes to the Kendrick beef with Drake. So when the halftime show came on, I was like, this is a horrible halftime show. What the fuck is going on here? This is boring. They should have got somebody else to do this shit. What's happening? And then I go on Twitter afterwards and find out some of the hidden meanings of what was actually going on. But Cesar, please, for the ignorant whiteys that watch this, for the white pretzels, can you please explain to Whitey what the hell's going on with Kendrick and Drake, please? Well, explain the halftime to Whitey, please.
It happened. Damn, when did this start? Like last summer or around last fall or something? Well, there's always like been a thing where Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick are like the top three in hip hop right now. Like, you know, Lil Wayne's still legend and everybody's a legend and whatnot. But those are the top three current young guys who are still, you know, rolling around. So J. Cole and Drake made a song called First Person Shooter, where they were talking about how, like, you know, they're top two and they left Kendrick out. Kendrick responded in a song. Drake took it personal,
Hmm.
and that's where
Do they all
this,
know they're all friends?
they're not all friends, but they're all in the same
They're
music.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're all in the same entertainment, and that's the thing with rappers. Every rapper thinks that, just like every wrestler thinks they're the greatest alive, right?
Mhm.
Um, and it's up to the fans to say who's great or who's not. Drake, money wise and popularity wise, is up there. Everybody respects Kendrick's pen because while he doesn't drop as much music as Drake, his albums are always like top top one when they come out, and everybody's like, "God damn, this dude's the greatest rapper alive. Why can't we just get more music?" Same with J. Cole. J. Cole doesn't drop a lot of music either, but when he drops, albums are bangers, instant classics. Um, so then Drake and Kendrick, this is what happens. You make a song about somebody, they make a diss track to answer it. Started off pretty light, Drake with some shots, talking about how short Kendrick is and blah blah blah. So they made a couple of songs and then but Kendrick made a couple of songs and he was like, yo, don't get personal. Because at the end of one of them, he's like, don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell no truths about you. Um, Also, Drake in the song said, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go get him a Grammy right now. That lyric backfired because that nigga got 5 Grammys off a song calling you a pedophile.
What?
It's kind of known Drake is a pedophile, so I should
He
preference that
is?
as well. Like you could literally Google Drake saying pedophile things.
Oh
Um,
shit.
just because, like, remember when Stranger Things got hot?
Yeah.
Like, apparently, like Millie Bobby Brown is a big Drake fan.
Mhm.
And like they were DMing each other when like that show started.
Wasn't she like 12?
Yes,
Jesus.
yes, she was like 13, 14.
Wow.
And like she said it in interviews, like, yeah, Drake is so cool. I'm one of his biggest fans, and yeah, we DM and talk all the time.
Uh-oh.
Why are you talking to a 20, like 24, 25-year-old man? And you're
Gee.
like 13. Like it's just um
So
I
that's where
think
that started.
yeah, no, it's like that. I think he wished Billie Eilish a happy birthday, like when she was 16, DMing her or like tweeting it live. Um, it's just wild. It's just wild.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's just you can Google it. Trust me. The people on the TikTok, you could just look that shit up. There's one guy was going through Drake's lyrics, and he was going through sus lyrics Drake has said,
Mhm.
and it was really really funny. And then he got a cease and desist letter from Drake's label, like some guy on TikTok. Like he's not even super famous. He doesn't even have a blue check mark. He was literally just doing it like there's just some shit, and Drake was just saying, "You're like, damn, that is some pedophile shit." So he kept doing it, like, and he kept making fun of it. And he actually got a letter, and the guy actually showed the letter on his TikTok page.
Shit.
Um,
Isn't that if he went as far as to send that, doesn't
yeah,
that make Drake look guilty?
yeah, everything makes Drake look guilty.
Oh boy.
Um, So then there was a couple of songs where so Kendrick Lamar first album, like it's a picture of this van. Like he was poor, rapping, and like he got around town in this van. Drake had a video with one of his diss tracks, like towing the van and driving it around Toronto. So then like there's rumors that Drake has had plastic surgery done. And so Kendrick, one of the pictures in his one of his songs had like the pills, subscription, like literally like an outfit like Drake had when caught from the it shit just started getting out of hand until Not Like Us dropped, where he just straight up called this man a pedophile for like 4 minutes. And it was like the best song. It was I mean, it got so much radio play. It was a really good song. When it dropped, because he had a picture of Drake's mansion and he had the Catch a Predator pins on it. Because he had like 20 of them on the mansion because like 20 people live in that house. And he's called him and his whole crew pedophiles. One of them does have a case against something. Like one of his right man has a case, called the dude a cokehead, called them all pedophiles, actually said it in the song. That's where the A minor thing comes from. Like if you heard of the Super Bowl, everybody just saying, because he's like, you sing in the song, it's something in the song about music, but he said, and she's probably a minor. And like everybody at the Super Bowl
Crowd
was
said
yelling
it.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously another wordplay of saying, yeah, Drake fucks. He's like he likes to sing songs. He's
Yeah.
so much of a pedophile, he likes to sing songs in A minor. Like that's the joke there. Um that's why he had that chain with the little A on it, because that's how it looks in music. See?
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
There's so many hidden details in that
Wait, so was
it,
the
it,
entire halftime show about him clowning on Drake?
it was him clowning on America, clowning on Donald Trump, and ending with clowning on Drake. Um Serena Williams was there, who was an ex
Yeah.
of Drake, Crip walking, and she's from Compton, which that's where Kendrick Lamar is from. Um, but there's other stuff meaning there too. Like apparently, uh, Kendrick is saying he's so powerful he can bring people together because her sister was like shot by the Crips. So why would she be Crip walking to a song about her ex calling him a pedophile? But Kendrick had a show. He had like a Amazon show where he performed, and he performed not like us 6 times in a row because Drake has always called himself the Six God because that's the area code
Oh
from
boy.
where he's from. So he performed it 6 times in a row. Also at the Grammys, he was wearing a Canadian tuxedo when he won all those Grammys. Kendrick is super petty and he hates this man. And the best part about it, also, like what is it? They said Tom Brady and that cracker from the Giants was talking about let's not be about hate. And everybody's like, Kendrick at the halftime. Nah, fuck that. I'm still hating this man. He's like, don't ever step to me. I'm coming for your life. So a lot of it was about that. I think Drake also had a line like, yeah, he said, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go get him a Grammy right now. Let me talk to your uncle because he's the man of the house. Also with Samuel Jackson being Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
But that's also like Kendrick saying Black America. Like all the set pieces were crazy because I think Drake does get paid by Sony. That's why the set looked like a PlayStation controller.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Uh, so there's that reference there. When he was teasing Not Like Us, he was talking about 40 acres and a mule, reparations. He also hates the government and Donald Trump. um, and it was funny because I didn't even notice it, but he performed all those songs and Not Like Us without cursing. Like he skipped over every N bomb, every curse word, didn't even say the other curse words or nothing. Um, I think it said one shot where all the people in red, white, and blue, when he was performing the song, when it panned up, it was supposed to say pedo. um, um, so and Drake like when Kendrick got the halftime show like way back in the day,
Mhm.
uh Drake was gonna sue the NFL if they let him perform the song. So this is when the beef was like fresh still. Um yeah, he said he was like, yeah, you're not gonna go on national live TV in front of millions and millions of people and have so many people in that stadium and call me a pedophile. He's like, that's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna sue you.
And
The
he
NFL didn't
did it.
care.
And he fucking did it anyway.
Yeah, the NFL didn't care. Um, yeah, it was crazy. There's just a whole bunch of more ignorant thing you can do to it. But literally, you can go on TikTok and look up Kendrick and Drake beef. They'll all explain it. It was just great. It was a great halftime show for me. And now everybody's making the jokes like if you didn't get the halftime show, we know who you voted for. That's the that's the jokes now because
I
there were
didn't
just
even
so many
vote.
there were so many old white people on Facebook just mad, and everybody's like, We know who you voted for. Yeah, yeah, you didn't get it because we know who you voted for. Um, Also, the Sam Jackson stuff was great as well because half the time he didn't seem like he was there for Kendrick. He was like, he's telling him, he's like, nah, you too hood, you too ghetto, you can't make all the like it was kind of like even though he's Black Uncle Sam, he's still with the government, but for the culture, he's trying to tell him not to be who he is, and Kendrick is always going to be who he is. So there's just references and shit like that all over, which
Okay.
I thought was dope. To me, it was yeah. Like, does he have better songs? Yes, he has better songs. Um, but I don't think that was the point of his performance. I think he was like he's always doing. He's playing. They said he's not even playing chess. He's playing some new shit. And that's what like some people say. You know, y'all playing checkers while I'm playing chess. It's like Kendrick on some new fucking game they ain't even invented. And that nigga is so far into that shit. It looks like chess is checkers to the people who play chess to checkers.
So
But no, it was funny.
Kendrick's playing the PlayStation 9 and we're stuck on the
Yeah.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, and it was just it was hilarious the memes that came up from it. It was like there was a bunch of them like, nah, always hate. Look where hate can get you. And it's like a picture of Kendrick smiling, it saying the Hey Drake at the Super Bowl. I mean, he looked into the camera when he sang the song and he's like, Hey Drake, I hear you like I'm
Is
young.
that
He's
what
like
that
staring
picture is? Because there's
yeah,
a still picture that everyone's tweeting. That's
with
what
him walking. Yeah.
yeah.
That's that part of the song because he says
Oh,
it in the
okay.
song. He's
Okay.
like, "Hey Drake, I hear you're like I'm young. You better not ever go to Cell Block One." He stares directly into that camera, smiling, saying, "Hey Drake, like I know you're watching this," and he's just like, "Hey Drake," uh, fucking hilarious, fucking hilarious.
Let's see.
But I thought it was a good game. Happy for Saquon, man. Got his ass out of that bum ass Giants. Uh, and then like literally to a team and wins the bowl. And it'd been dope if he had the record too. I'm just saying it was there. That would have been dope. You imagine he'd have gotten he gets to a team, he gets the all-time rushing record, and he gets the Super Bowl. I mean, I think if he got the record, he would have probably got he would have definitely got the MVP as well. That would have been a crazy year. Like you just come off a team, you go to another team, you get the record, you get the MVP, you get the Super Bowl. Like that would have been I don't know if anybody could have had a crazier or a better season. That would have been fucking nuts. But
How
hey,
how
it was good.
soft did you get last night watching the Super Bowl?
Oh, I was drunk as hell. I was drunk as hell. I ain't had to work today. I was fucked up.
There you go. Perfect timing. Well, thank you for
I
explaining
lost all my parlays. Bullshit.
thank you for explaining that to Whitey. Well now if no one has any further thoughts, we can dive into the world of NXT. Again, we've been away for a while. It's been a month and a half. A lot of crazy shit has happened. A lot of people released. Ridge Holland sadly still has a job. Electra Lopez does not. We found that out today. But we started off this past week with Stephanie Vaquera versus JC Jane. Both of them were black and green. They looked like they were part of the same tag team. I don't know who fumbled that fashion decision, but Steph wins, of course. Ladies, they know how to do it. And you know, Booker T was jizzing all over the table with JC Jane out there, the rock star.
Did you not
Corey
hear him
Graves,
actually jizzing during the match when Stephanie does that butt slam?
he goes, ha, ha, ha,
Yeah,
ha.
he was literally just like
Well, at
ah.
one point during the match, they talked about mixing business with pleasure, and all three guys were like, "Oh shit!" Yeah, because Vic was the last one to pipe in. He was like, because they all talked about how their wives worked in the industry, and Vic's like,
Yeah,
"Well, mine too." And he talked about it was just
yeah.
like that was awesome too. It was just like, man, yeah.
I mean, also, by the way, since the last time we gathered, Corey Graves has been added to the NXT broadcast team. He bitched about it on Twitter at first, but he came back. He said, I'm right where I need to be, which of course then spawned Twitter jokes of a gun to his back when he's saying it. But I think Corey does add something. Because Vic and Book, they had their formula. They're great. We've been commenting on Vic and Book's commentary for years. Adding Corey kind of is good because when Vic and Book are bickering, Corey goes, yeah. Anyway, so pinfall attempt. Like he sticks to the fucking formula of what they're supposed to be
Supposed to
doing
be doing.
while Vic and Book are bickering over here. So I
Yeah.
appreciate Corey Graves being there, and I hope he's not really that bitter about going back to NXT because NXT, if you call it the minor leagues, whatever, NXT is fire. It's been fire. He knows it's fire. I don't know if he thinks it's demotion, but hey, he's still getting a paycheck. Everyone else is getting released. Don't run your mouth. You're going to be in the unemployment line with them or sniffing up Tony Khan's asshole.
Facts.
But I digress, Cesar. Stephanie versus JC. What'd you think?
Nah, yeah, it was a great match. I mean, JC just been there forever. She know what she doing. And Stephanie McCure's been killing it on the indies. Great addition to the best women's division in all of professional wrestling. Yeah. Corey Graves did add back into the wrestling fold for the announce team when he is down there. Yeah, because like we love Vic and Book just bitching back and forth and bickering, and then yeah, that's when Corey Graves can step up. I mean, if they were gonna make a 3-man boot, they should have just put him back on SmackDown with that other cracker and Wade with the fade. But yeah, these two women are great. Had a great match. Um, Leading into Vengeance Day with old Stephanie and Fallon coming up. So yeah, good shit. As always.
Sticks. We got Stephanie versus JC along with Corey being added to the commentary team. What'd you think?
Yeah, with all the new addition of the women to the women's division, we had just waiting for these ladies to be able to get their footing in the WWE system. And Stephanie has. Her move sets have adapted to the WWE's women's division so well. The her being able to become one of the top women now has been great. Her now in that Women's North American Championship title picture is going to be great for her. She's going to be able to take that run with her while Julia is champion. Having Corey in the 3-man booth, I think is great. I think Corey's been great on the main roster. Regardless of what he thinks, I mean, he's still, like you said, he's still getting a paycheck. You can go for the main roster, go back down to NXT. You're going to have great action to call. Actually, I think, in my opinion, I wouldn't see it as a demotion. I think going back down to NXT, I think the action is more fluid. There's so much more going on. You are able to see this talent develop down there, so that way when they end up getting called up, and if he ends up getting called back up, you already have a head start with a lot of these men and women because you watched them already. Like you already have you could almost say you almost have an established relationship with them. And Corey, his chemistry with anybody on a booth is great. I mean, the guys can fluidly go with anybody in there. Him with Sick Vic and Book is great. Like this guy, and with you being on CW, I mean, you're on kind of more of a mainstream show. You're going to get more eyes and ears onto you. So, I mean, I wouldn't have been mad at all. I mean, he probably saw it as a demotion. I would have saw it as I get to see more action, more young talent, and I'm still going to get paid. Shit, sign me up.
Plus, he doesn't have to travel as much because they're in Florida a lot. They go on the road sometimes, but hey, the less road miles, you still get a paycheck. You get to call the young and hungry talent. You get to see them build their legacy at the beginning. It's exciting. They're young. They're hungry. It's all good. You get to fucking shoot this shit with old cross-eyed kid. It's all good. It's all gravy, baby. Up next, the king of all television, Cesar, Lexis King, has the looks to kill and the pedigree that will. Very annoying fan that kept booing in the crowd. Florida has the worst fans ever. He is removing the Heritage Cup rules. And if there is no chance in hell this would have ever been on my bingo card, Fandango's music hits. The crowd goes insane. It's JDC has his sights set on the Heritage Cup sticks. I mean, could you have predicted of any in 2025? Could you have said, you know what? I bet you Fandango is going to return to NXT. This was insane. What'd you think?
I thought it was a great little segment. Made the comment about him spray painting his beard on when he was like when he came back and he said, "No, I brush it on. I brush it on." Yeah, JDC comes out to the Fandango music, even though he's not going by Fandango. This is one of the good things about them actually legit announcing that they have a working relationship with TNA. Like we're gonna get guys who are guys and gals, former WWE talent who probably still has a decent relationship with the corp to be able to come back. Like we all were, I know there was rumors talking about was Nick Nemeth slash Dolph Ziggler going to show up for the Royal Rumble. I mean, you can still have him show up at any show, and because they have a legit working relationship. Otherwise, I think it's good. JDC kind of is getting a little bit overshadowed on TNA with Moose and Eddie and Myers as like a tag team. So this gives him an outlet to show up. He has a previous, like I said, previous work in the relationship with WWE. He can show up, Heritage Cup. He can face a young and upcoming talent and Lexus King. Go out there. They both could probably put on a good little 5-7 minute show. And it'll kill a little bit of time, maybe do a little bit of show NXT and all them a JDC slash Fandangos. We could show them what they saw in him. I'm not mad at it. I think it's gonna be good. It gives two guys something to do while also still working that new working relationship with NXT, WWE, and TNA.
Yeah, Cesar, you know what I think this is? I think this is the payoff we've been waiting for. Meaning an established veteran. Yeah, veteran. I'm calling Fandango a veteran. Now about to give the rub to the future in Lexus King, whereas Jericho gave Fandango the rub at WrestleMania. It's now time to pay the ultimate price, JDC. You're gonna put sliding chair, Lexus King, the king of all television, Fandango. What did you think, Cesar? His music.
No, I thought this was I thought this was really good. There's no way I didn't think he was gonna come out to that music. I was like, Fandango? You mean JDC? Oh shit, did he put the suit back on? Is he gonna have a dancing bitch?
Summer Rae's gonna come out.
Thought she might get it one day, might get a little 10-day contract here and there. But no, this was good. This was good. This would have been, I mean, I get it if you want to get rid of the Harris Cup rule. I thought this always made the championship different, but it would have been. You think they would have brought back they could have got Brian Myers and them to be in JDC's corner for this. Like that'd have been crazy, bringing him and them back, or bringing Eddie.
I want to see Moose. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Moose out there.
that would have been dope as well. Can you imagine that Moose would have brought his crack ass. Um, but they have something. They have the funniest thing they can do because Booker T calls Crispy the king of all television, and also we have a guy in TNA with a trophy who gets to call his shot the king of all television, and they could literally have a match over that trophy and be the king of all television. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. They have something great there. They could have something great there. Yeah, it's two heels, but those guys chirping at each other in the ring and having a fight. And you imagine he takes that cup, he wins that cup and takes that shit back to TNA, and he's walking around with that shit. Jesus Christ, it could, because they're eating king. I mean, somebody needs to book that shit. Uh, Super dope, super dope. They could do that. But I was excited. I was excited. JDC came back in, and they gonna fight for the cup. And Crispy Kang is getting more TV time. That's always good with me.
People always shit on working relationships with a major company and a secondary company, like when AEW and Impact paired together, where Impact didn't really benefit from it. But I think TNA is going to benefit from this relationship with WWE, regardless if the TNA talent loses. I think eyes are still going to be moved to TNA. Like because I want them to remove TNA from Access TV. I don't know if they will because Anthem owns that and they're the one
Yeah.
they're funding all this shit. So in orders for them to remove TNA from Access, they might have to buy out Anthem, which they have the money for, but I don't know. And then there's always the risk of turning TNA into WWE's ECW, a watered down piece of garbage that it was. So I don't know, but I know
Oh, you
more.
mean like ROH and
Oh yeah,
ATW?
yeah. That just it's not good. But hopefully, again, we get more eyes to TNA because I've seen the ratings and it's really bad. Like
Well,
if you,
we're already seeing that. I mean, Cora Jade has been showing up the last couple of weeks. She's going to be there again. I mean, I think WWE sees this as they like we talked about this. TNA has, I think, the second best women's division in wrestling behind WWE. Like they've taken some women. Jordan Grace is now a part of WWE, so they see that as a strong building block to be able to help them do it. I mean, a lot of WWE men and women sign contracts there, so they can have a working relationship where they could bring some of this talent back here for a one-off, have a somewhat still good relationship, while also propping up and bringing more eyeballs to TNA, while allowing talent from a different company to come in and do a one-off. Because I mean, like you said, TNA they have no problem probably sending their talent over there to catch an L, whereas NXT will send some people over there depending on who you are, and they might catch an L too. Or you can switch it up, and NXT might be like, "Hey, we'll have this, we'll have so and so. You can send so and so over. We'll have them win, and then we'll send the one off over. We'll send them over there. We could do a 1-1, and then at either or's pay per view. Then that's how we'll start laying down who we like a strong case for which one of our talents to win, and how that can propel them on future showings for either both our shows or just one of our shows. But I always think it's great when you have two companies working together because with the way the shape of the industry is today, money does get tight. You do sign a lot of people to extravagant contracts, and they do have the hype for a little bit, and then they start fizzling, and then you got to make that tough decision unless you're Tony Skeets, who has his daddy's black card, who can keep just about everybody he signs. But I mean, you do have it is a business, and you do have a financial bottom line that you got to meet. And if you have nothing for a talent for that you can see for at the time or in the foreseeable future, you do have to make the tough cuts, and they'll go somewhere else. Well, if you can have a work relationship with somebody else, you can kind of soften the blow with them, be like, hey, we're going to release you, but if you still want to have a chance to be on WWE television, but also have a chance to be able to work with us and maybe have us bring you back, go to TNA. It's an easy schedule. They'll knock out TV like for a weekend. We'll have you show up every once in a while. Go there. It could be one of those things where they could funnel some of their talent that we like and are fan favorites and have it there where they can still maybe get some eyeballs on the product while focusing some of their eyeballs onto a different product, and they can be like, oh shit, like maybe Electra Lopez or some of the new, like, hell, maybe even Baron Corbin
could
could
you
show up there.
imagine? Could you imagine next week on Impact tapings we get a stable of Aleister Black, Miro, and Ricky Stark showing up on TNA? The fucking internet would explode. The ratings would blow up. It would be unbelievable.
Fact.
But that being said, Zarya and Sol Ruka versus JJ and Tatum. Tatum names her submission the Spider Insider. I love it. I love that creativity. Soul attempts Soul Snatcher and misses by 3 miles, but Gigi sold the fuck out of it. Zarya and Soul win this match. Bailey, Roxanne, and Julia in the ring for a summit. Roxanne talks crap about Cora not having a title. Charlotte Flair comes out, nothing significant. Cora attacks Julia and Bailey with a kendo stick. Almost hits Roxanne, but doesn't. Sticks, we got the women's tag match. No, Cesar, we got the women's tag match. Zarya and Soul versus Gigi and Tatum, and then all the bitches out in the ring talking shit.
Yeah, man. I don't know who decided to put Soul and Dart and Zarya together, but it's fine by me. It's fine. They're not ready for Soul to get that title, even though she's really, really good. I mean, she should have been one. Not to say Julie and Stephanie aren't good, but pushing Soul as well would have been fine by me. It would have been good too. Um, yeah, she missed that fucking Soul Snatcher by a while. Tatum still looking good, still doing shit that we like to see every damn week, getting better and better. Um, Out there with old dump truck JJ and Shotzi's crazy ass. Um, these hoes work together good too. Um, I ain't mad at it. Ain't mad at nothing they do. I thought this was a really good match. And, we know the women bring it, no matter who they are. Um, but yeah, pairing up Soul and Zarya is great. It gets them off the singles hunt right now, so you don't have too many stars trying to flood the title
Cesar,
opportunities.
did you catch the vibe that I caught? I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much. Shit happens. Are they trying to turn Zarya into maybe a heel? Did you kind of see
Yeah, yeah. Like
like a
she's getting fed up with stuff.
yeah, a little tweaking of her
Hmm.
character in this?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, just you got to get them out of the
Good.
way first. Yeah.
Looks
You
like a
got to,
villain.
yeah, you got to get them out of the way right now. And then after these title matches, yeah, that's where you can, if you wanted to, split them up and then started going for the singles titles. But as of right now, they're kind of, and like everybody can be fighting for it. You know what I'm saying? Just like the next segment was everybody fighting for it. You know what I'm saying? So, because you got Bailey, Julia, and
There's Bailey, Roxanne, Julia, and Charlotte
Roxanne.
and
Yeah,
Cora.
because they're having a three-way match, but here comes old Charlotte, got to make the rounds. Good for her though. Making the rounds, she doesn't have to wrestle as much. Not as a threat to get injured again. I don't know. Can the bitch go? No, no, nigga, I don't know. But she's making a round, talking that talk, walking that walk. Being L ratcheted like she always is. And then yeah, Big Titty Corey Jade comes in there, swinging kendo sticks and shit, fucking hoes up, swinging at Roxanne because Roxanne been talking a lot of cash money shit. Um, I wouldn't mind a match between them two one more time if Roxanne about to leave and go up, which we all think is gonna happen, and that way it makes room for Jordan Grace to come in. But no, it was fine. Yeah, we all know Charlotte's just gonna be talking her shit till they figure out who they really want her to fight. Um, but yeah, Julia Bailey and Roxanne should be really really good, and can't wait for the match.
Yeah, Sticks. I mean, back to Zarya. If they do turn her heel, she will be a fantastic heel because she has an epic move set in the spear and the F5. Good God. She's that creative character you make that you give them all the great moves,
Yeah,
plus
yeah.
the strength, plus the look. This bitch has it all. And she's teaming with Soul. So when they want to turn her heel, they'll just have her murder Soul in the middle,
Oh yeah.
build that feud up. But until then, we had a tag match: Zarya and Soul versus JJ and Tatum, followed by the Summit with the women. What do you think?
Yeah, the dynamic they have with Soul and Zarya, I think is great. It's like a yin and yang. If they do have them uh start building a case for the women's tag team, I mean, at some point Zarya is gonna do some heel shit, and then it'll either lead to Soul buying in because I mean Zarya will look at her and be like, "Hey, we're trying to become champions. We're trying to go for the women's tag team championship. We got to do what we have to do to win." So that'll either set up the dynamic of maybe Soul turns an eye because she wants to become a champion, or it will start the building blocks towards them breaking up, and then we'll get a great either one off with those two, or maybe we get a nice little a program going with both of them going each other that'll span maybe a couple months and get a finally get a one off on it. I think it's great. Both women are great together. Like we talked about, I mean, outside of this match, Soul's got a great finisher that she is starting to expand to hit out of nowhere, except for this last week, where she kind of bobbled it. But I mean, you're gonna get that. Tatum and Gigi and JJ. I mean, Tatum's. We talked about how Tatum has taken advantage of getting her TV time. Like they sent her over in TNA. She looked great on it. She took that and she's propelled it. Now you got JJ healthy, and then you got Shotsky. I mean, you got obviously don't have anything going on for her on the main roster push. She's coming back from an injury herself. So why not throw all three of these women together? Let's see how it goes. It gets some TV time. It gets 2 out of 3 some in ring time. So it is what it is. People they collect a paycheck. I'm not mad at it. The women's summit, you got the 3 top women, not only in NXT but in WWE. Roxanne, hour and 7 minutes and 43 seconds. She was able to hype that. Well deserved. Like Roxanne, her nickname fits her perfectly. She's a prodigy. She's a young, up and coming woman in the division. Bailey's an NXT homegrown. She's still a fan favorite. And Julia is finding her footing. She's on her way to building her title legacy. And then you had Charlotte, who won the Women's Royal Rumble, who had said on Monday that she was going to make the rounds to choose who she was gonna pick. She had last time she won it, she chose the NXT Championship, which we got a pretty good match between her and Rhea Ripley. Like it's not bad. I mean, it shows that she might want to take NXT again because she's a homegrown, but 2, she sees a lot of the young, hungry women down there, and it inspires her to go down there because she can't have an off night. Like you have to be on your game every night because these women are coming for what you have and what you are. An established woman who, if she does win the NXT Championship, they're coming for your championship. They want to be who you are. So, I mean, wherever she chooses, I mean, everybody's gonna watch. But NXT, like she said, they've got the best and hottest women's division right now. So why wouldn't she think about doing it? Not a bad match and segment. NXT, like we've always talked about, they know how to keep a show flowing. They know how to put segments and matches in, and they were still knocking it out this last Tuesday.
So there's been a reoccurring segment on NXT, even on our time off. The fucking segment kept going. I don't give a shit about it. I don't care about it. Carmen and Adonis, I don't give a fuck. Kalani, I guess she's trying to show heel tendencies. I don't know. I didn't really care about this. And then something happened in this match that I think we brought up, or I brought up maybe last year. I was like, hey guys, when was the last time a ref reversed a decision at the end of the match? When was the last time? Can you guys remember the last time that happened? I think that sparked a conversation. That was a long time ago. And lo and behold, on the segment I don't give 2 drops of monkey piss on, they dust off a classic and the ref reverses the decision. Carmen extends her winning streak. Apparently, this is her 8th win or 3rd. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just blown away by the fact that the ref reversed the decision. Props to the cross-eyed kid making that call. That angle in the story prolongs whatever the fuck. I don't care what the story is, but the referee reversing the decision. Kudos to you, sir. But the main event is something I want to talk about because we had Oba Femi, and Trick Willie versus A-Town Down Under. No bread, no
No
water,
water.
just
Just meat.
meat. Grayson chopped a black off a Trick. Trick returned the favor. Of course, Trick and Oba don't get along. Thanks to Eddie Thorpe whipping Trick. Eddie Thorpe whipping Trick Willie. And what month is it, Caesar?
No. Here's the thing. We had an Indian whipping a black man in February.
Good boy. Thanks to that, Grayson and Theory win. Eddie then continues to whip a black man during Black History Month, just when I was giving the cross-eyed kid props for a referee reversing a decision. He has to go and make the call for Trick Willie. And the fun, this was fucked, but then I got on Twitter afterwards, and so many fucking accounts pointed that shit out. I just couldn't. And then I thought Caesar, because Caesar messaged me and he goes, "Hey, when you finish NXT, hit me up." And I was like, "Uh-oh, I wonder if something really major happened. What happened?" And then this happened, and I go to Caesar. I'm like, "All right, I just finished. That was fucked up." But he meant something different. I thought he was talking about this. That's why because he
No,
never
we could have talked about that because
Caesar
that shit was
never
wild.
messages me after NXT because now it comes on later over here.
Okay.
Usually it came on early when I would be able to watch it with the rest of you, but when it moved to the CW, everything's pushed back to later. So I
Okay.
had to wait till later. So I was like, "Oh, something big happened." Caesar messaged me, and then this shit happens in
It is
February.
wild.
And
It
I was
is
like,
wild.
"Oh my God, Caesar's gonna have a meltdown on the tripod." But yeah. Well, first sticks. Let's get to you. First sticks. The reversal of the decision. The referee reversing the decision in the women's match. Your thoughts on that, and then the main event. The hate crime that took place at the end of NXT in
Hate
February.
crime. It's
What did you
wild.
think?
A women's match that was kind of bland till we got Miss Parker showing up. Yeah. After a strong showing herself at the Women's Royal Rumble, comes out. There's a little bit of history with her and Kalani. So that explains why she was out there. Yeah, like you talked about. Like somehow something that is discussed on this podcast, regardless if it's month, 2 months, 3 months in the past, ends up somehow coming to fruition in the corp, in the Fed. So cross-eyed fuck probably watched it and was like, "Oh, okay, I gotta let me write this down. I'm gonna put this down. Gotta throw this in because I watched this show, this fine program.
Where is the fucking?
These guys are speaking to what my audience kind of wants to see. And I kind of lose focus on that because I got one eye on a product and one eye on a certain division. So with that, it was nice seeing that. And yeah, the way the main event went down, I can't speak it justice. So I yield my time to my fellow tripod brother,
Oh
who I'm
boy.
sure has some strongly worded opinion about this.
Yes, I mean, Cesar, we could dabble in the referee reversing the decision, but the world wants to know. The pretzels want to hear the travesty, the controversy of what happened at the end of NXT this past week. In what month? That's right, February 4th, 2025, during Black History Month, we saw Eddie Thorpe brutally 12 years a slave all over Trick Willie. What the fuck?
See, Master Michaels, while being a racist, that nigga ain't crazy. That motherfucker ain't crazy. See, he had to use Eddie Thorpe. He had to use the ending. You know what I'm saying? He had to use old Moon Knight. Because if it would have been like Grayson Waller or fucking Austin Theory whipping Trick Williams on the first week of February, He had to burn the shit down, man. He'd have had to burn the shit down. See, he had to use a minority on a minority. And then why is he whipping Trick? What do he hate Trick for? He won the title. Should have been whipping Opus big ass. But he got, I guess he had enough of whipping that nigga uh, in that strap match they had or whatnot. But yeah, Master Michaels ain't crazy, man. He ain't trying to get canceled. He know he'd had a white man whip that nigga like that or whoop that Trick. Uh,
Ah, I see what you did there.
yeah. Or if he'd have had him whoop that Trick in first month February, he know Florida man would have showed up and burnt down that whole goddamn stadium. Okay, it would have burnt that whole goddamn stadium down. That shit would have been ruthless, boy. That shit would have been ignorant. He'd have had to call the National Guard to get Florida man out of that shit. But yeah, yeah. You gonna take a perfectly good match. You got some niggas, you got some crackers. First month of February, you got the new super nigga with the whoop that trick man. With everybody's hood favorite, you know what I'm saying? Just fighting two crackers regularly. And then you gonna have an engine come up in there and fuck it all up for everybody. So the niggas can't get a win. And then you gonna whoop the nigga that got pinned. You ain't gonna whoop the nigga who ran who was gone. No, you whoop the nigga that got pinned. So this nigga got pinned and whooped. That's what he got paid to do. That's crazy. It's crazy. I tell you what. Come Thanksgiving, I don't think Eddie Thorpe gonna be here no more. Trick gonna do something to that nigga. He gonna poison the nigga water supply or some shit. He gonna steal all his crops. You know what I'm saying? He definitely gonna fuck up his DJ gear. That nigga DJ gear getting chopped in half or blown up. Or he
I know
gonna
what.
steal the needles
No,
and
I know
then,
what.
so the nigga can't DJ no more.
I know what he's gonna
Trick
do.
definitely gonna do something.
Trick is gonna get a blanket with smallpox and throw it on the women's
Throw it
division.
right on his ass.
So when Eddie Thorpe goes in there to lay his pipe,
Mhm.
he's going to die. That fool
Yeah,
going to die.
gone. And then he gonna fuck his bitch and put it on TV. You know what I'm saying? That's what real niggas do. The Trick gonna go up to the main card and push up on Dakota Kai. I already know this. Trick got plans. He gonna be like, I'm sorry, Lash, I gotta do this for the culture. I gotta hit this bitch just so I can prove I can take his bitch and break his DJ equipment. Hey man, somebody gonna have to go. You just can't whip a nigga in Feb. You just can't whip a nigga, and then you gonna whip a nigga in February. And won't they end up? Yeah, down in Florida. Somebody gonna have to die. They gonna have somebody got to die match. That shit gonna be fire. That shit gonna be fire.
I think Trick and Lash are going to beat the fuck out of old Eddie Thorpe,
Uh-huh.
Dakota Kai. That could be an interesting mixed tag.
Well,
Yeah.
Dakota's gonna come back from a concussion, and now she gonna be gone because her back got blown out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be painful.
Trick is going to fuck the fat into her ass, and she's finally going to
Mhm.
get an ass.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
It's gonna be nice and curvy.
again, that was. I do have a question for you, gentlemen. If again, a quick tangent, but still WWE related. Had JD not almost killed himself in that match against the Viking Raiders, do you think he would have been cut like everybody else was? Because
No.
JD wasn't really standing out. He's got a big head. Let's make fun of him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If he wouldn't have been put on an impressive performance against the Viking Raiders, do you think he would still have a job?
Yeah, because Finn Balor likes JD, and he's still part of a group on Raw. Like
Yeah,
Electra, I
but
don't even think
UFC.
Electra's wrestled in like the whole time she's been called up.
But what about Sonya Deville? She was in
They
a.
didn't. They didn't
Oh,
release her. They just let her contract run up. They didn't release her.
Hmm,
that's interesting.
okay.
I haven't watched Raw, so I don't know if the bitch is gonna show up tonight. Because some people wrestle without a contract. Like KO wrestled like 3 months without a contract, but he was working out a new one.
I
So
was
if the
just
contract's
curious
up, but she's still there.
because JD McDonough was a huge deal in NXT. He was a
Yeah.
psycho. He was a psycho killer, and he put on bangers. But then he went to the main roster, kind of floundered until Finn brought him in, became tag champs. And then after they lost the titles, I don't know. I thought he was in danger, but I could have been wrong. Maybe you're right, Cesar. Maybe Finn, the connections to Finn would have saved his ass. But
Well, there's some friction in Judgment Day. If you've noticed the last couple of weeks, like with Finn, like he came back last week and he's talking to Dominic, like, why did you waste, essentially saying, why'd you waste our tag team shot and not wait for me to come back? Like there's been like some little drop, like little sprinkles of maybe there's friction that they might break up. So if you do, Finn and JD and I don't know, maybe Carlito, depending on how things are, like Finn and JD, you could run it as a tag team while also still having Finn be like the top singles guy out of the two. And depending on if Finn's still going to be like if he's going to be part of a faction, if he's going to take Judgment Day, make it his own, and then you either have it so that Dominic is just the side piece with Liv and Raquel, or I don't know, maybe I just don't think he would have got injured because I think they see in JD that they have a solid performer. They have a tag team when him and Finn. They don't have much going on singles wise for Finn. So him and JD can keep themselves towards the top of the tag team
I get it,
division.
guys. I get it. All right, you put up a great argument for JD. Let me throw you another one, okay? I get it. You convinced me. You're my tripod brothers. I just had to put the issue out there and you convinced me. However, let me throw you this curveball. You two save JD, but can you save Carlito? What the
Yeah,
fuck is Carlito doing?
you sticking with Dominic.
You really think him sticking with Dominic is gonna save his job?
They could be a tag team because they really want to push Dominic. They really want to push
Sonya
Dominic as a
Deville
big.
was in a stable with Zoe and fucking Shayna. They were a stable together. They were in current storylines fighting. Carlito said an offensive thing, and he hasn't been used hardly at all.
You could say that about Carlito, but how many times has Sonya wrestled since joining Pure Fusion Collective?
Well, Sticks, if you've been watching Main Event, you would know that Sonya Deville's the star of that show. No,
I don't watch that
No, I don't
shit
know.
unless I lose a predictions, which last I checked hasn't been a
no,
hot minute or two.
I'm just kidding. I don't know, but you're right. Yeah, Sonya is more of like the I'm in the corner woman, whereas Shayna and Zoe have been doing most of the
They've been
wrestling.
doing most of the wrestling because they are the better wrestlers.
Yeah, that's
Just for
true.
being honest, but we know Carlito can go if he wanted to,
Oh yeah.
and then they know he can go if he wanted to. I think Carlito's just having fun being an idiot.
I wonder if he's just like he's the weed dealer, so they keep him around. Like that dude
Yeah.
can score the Caribbean weed. We keeping that motherfucker.
He's just like Mexican R-Truth. I mean, he's just
Now that
just there.
cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Well, the whole thing of it is, I think they know that if they release Carlito, he's going to be fine. Like he's kept himself relevant on the indie circuit, let alone down in the CMLL circuit. So I think they could see that as well. If we release him, he's going to be fine. But he does bring something to a segment or two. So let's ride it out, and then if we have to make a second wave of cuts, maybe he'll be that next one, or maybe he's on like a maybe his contract is kind of maybe corporate friendly. Maybe it's one of those things that he's like, I'm not getting paid as much as I could be, but I'm getting TV time and I really don't have to do much when I show up.
Hey, Blokey, are we going back to Puerto Rico? Okay, we'll keep Carlito till then we'll axe his ass. All right, we're gonna go back to Puerto
Yeah,
Rico.
they just got to circle back around.
You and Zelina, we'll keep you till then, but after that, you gone. No, but moving on to TNA, we're gonna do a highlight version of this, and I will leave it to Sticks first. What was your highlight of this past week's TNA Impact while I take a leak?
Well, gentlemen, this is going to be obviously, I mean, I'm surprised you guys probably didn't think I was going to bring this up, but Josh Alexander's contract is coming up in TNA. And we had seen him, I don't know if you want to say fathered, but help accelerate a certain tag team to become a faction called the Northern Armory, short for TNA, which is as ironic. You know, we've seen Josh. We had wondered how Josh was going to find his way out, and he essentially looked like he had done something unwalking weapon like he had said that he had a match with Mike Santana, and he said, "I quit." Um, and so that was the beginning of what seems to be what was going to be the end, the demise of the walking weapon. Then the Northern Armory um, turns on him. And then we see a fellow Canadian and EY be like, well, I'll team with you, which goes show them that these guys, yes, they're up and coming, but they still have a few things to learn. And then we see during that match, Eric Young turns on Josh Alexander, seemingly becoming that new leader of the Northern Army. Well, EY also has a tag team partnership with Bulletproof Steve McLean. So we saw this week Steve McLean came out talking about how he felt like he got stabbed in the back by EY. And he's not going to follow Eric Young to the Northern Armory. He's like, you're on your own. you've stabbed me in the back. What you've done, I also have history with the Northern Armory. I can't do this with you. As he is vacating the ring, cue the Walking Weapons music. We have a little bit of stare down because those two have a history. Those two have past problems. After the stare down, Walking Weapon makes it into the ring, talking about how he is leaving TNA, but he went and talked to the director of Authority, Santino, and said he's got one more match left. He's going to exercise his last match, and it's going to be against Eric Young. So my highlight is we're going to get a Canadian one last match between the past and maybe still present of TNA and Eric Young versus a man who had carried the banner for TNA / Impact for the last couple of years, and a man who don't know what the future is for, but and the Walking Weapon. But we're going to get this coming up Thursday. We're going to get Eric Young versus Josh Alexander, Josh's last match in TNA. So that was my highlight of the show.
Six, has that been pre-taped already, or they haven't taped that?
I want to say, I don't know if this, because they said something about this week's episode, how they got a live one coming up. I don't know if they're talking about how this week's is live or if it was already going to be pre-taped. I can't remember, and I haven't heard anything. So I can't give you a definitive answer on that.
Because this batch of episodes, they were all taped in San Antonio, I believe. They were all in Texas still. But hopefully they haven't taped it yet, because I don't want no fucking spoilers out there. My highlight of TNA, that was a good highlight, is what sticks. EY and Josh, they're gonna tear the house down. They respect each other. They can bring it. They're people you can rely on for a great match. So
well, and it's Josh's last match TNA.
Yeah.
So like he literally said in the promo, he's gonna leave everything out there. Like he's not gonna, regardless of what the decision is, whatever they decide backstage to go out there, he's gonna go out there and he's not gonna shortchange Eric, but he's not gonna shortchange us, the fans.
that's gonna be a great match. I just can't handle it when EY cuts a promo, that froggy ass motherfucker. But anyway, my highlight of TNA has to actually do with somebody Caesar famously coined as Black Cynic. It was the system, and trust me, this was hard for me to do because it involves the Hardy Boys. The system versus Black Cynic and the Hardys. I was eye rolling so hard I had to hold onto the table. But the standout in this match was just how great the system works as a unit, and the spotlight was on Black Cynic for sure in this match. That dude can go. I hope he gets pushed after this. I mean, the Hardys obviously see something in him. Even the system, they gotta be rooting for this kid too because they all put him over in this match. It was an excellent match. And for a Hardy hater such as myself, I enjoyed this six-man tag, even though I begrudgingly watched it. If you fellas have any thoughts on this six-man tag, Cesar, any thoughts?
No, I thought it was a good match too. And yeah, old Black Cynic, man, he's out here cooking lately. Um, he had a great match with, I think it was another multi-man match where he was fighting Moose or something. And then yeah, good match here with the Hardys. He definitely stood out. Um, and his finisher, that fucking 450 Swanton is
One time,
always,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
that shit's always cold. That
yeah.
shit is always cold.
Now that dude is putting over Black History Month.
Yeah.
Sticks, any thoughts on that six-man tag?
Yeah, like you said, the system, they've been together for a minute, so the teamwork, the chemistry with them in there, it shows. And Black Nikki Cooch, we've seen this guy. I mean, when they did the show overseas, when I think that it was the show before they signed him to a contract, there's something with this guy. Like we talked about with NXT with Javon Evans. Like there is something with this guy. Well, TNA
Mm.
has that
Could you
with him.
imagine? Could you imagine Leon versus holy shit, Javon and Leon? Oh my
And
god.
if NXT, if Cross-Eyed Kids watching this, you throw this to begin a PLE. Like you want to start a show off of straight fire. Both these guys literally could jump out of the building, but both these guys are. I mean, they're equally matched. Like, and now Leon is obviously building his way up to be it is, so you can have it that Javon goes over. But regardless, is putting that don't not putting the cart before the horse. This match, that match would be great. But in this match, you saw that like the focal point was Leon Slater is the future. Like whenever we think or whenever this guy has put his time in, he's gonna take regardless if he ends up being the one that unseats Moose as in the X division. Like this guy's going to go out there and he's not going to disappoint a match, and it showed in this match.
Yep. That was incredible. Cesar, your highlights of this past week's TNA Impact.
Yeah, I like the Steve McLean, Josh Alexander, EY segment. It was really good. Um TNA though with the Access Crackers, uh yeah, y'all niggas is racist. Okay. The fact that you even showed Tessa Blanchard's racist ass
Oh
at
yeah,
all
that's
in
another thing
February.
that's
In
happening.
February, you gonna
Yeah.
show this bitch on my TV in February? Nah, y'all niggas is racist. Y'all need to go to hell for that shit and that shit alone. You showed this racist bitch in February on my TV. And shout out to Jazz for bringing her old ass back and getting in the ring. Shout out to Jazz.
Yeah. That was cool to see. I was wondering what the hell happened to her. I thought she died of cancer or something.
Yeah, bitch got to get cancer.
Well,
Ooh,
they said it. She's in NWA. Doesn't she own like an NWA territory? Like she
Yeah,
owns
the
like
one they were in,
NWA
San
like
Antonio.
Texas.
The
Yeah,
San
so
Antonio.
that was actually awesome to hear that she's still in wrestling. She still can go out there, put on a respectable match, but she still has something to do with the wrestling industry.
Javon Evans and Leon Slater are both 20. They're
Damn,
both 20 years old.
niggas can't even drink.
Those guys could go and man, I hope that happens. There's got to be a Worlds Collide fucking pay-per-view with NXT and TNA. That would be incredible.
It'd be dope.
Moving on, unfortunately. Well, I could say fortunately because something good did happen on Collision. The show I didn't take notes on, something good happened. I did take notes on Dyna Trash. We had Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis. We had Buddy and Brody versus Takeshita and Fletcher. Decent wrestling, no selling, finishers don't finish shit. Okada's music hits, the heels win, whatever. The women of AEW have been the most interesting part of both shows this week. Tony Storm, Mariah May, and Harley Cameron have been the stars of AEW. Cesar brought it to my attention of Harley and her puppet work. I was like, what is he talking about? I went back and watched. I was like, oh my God, she's got it. Harley Cameron has it. She has it. However, what she needs is that. She has it. She needs that. And what do I mean by that? The in-ring work. She has it, meaning I'm gonna watch.
Well, she
I'm
just
gonna hear you,
won her first match.
but
She just
that-
won her first TV match. So they're slowly starting to build that resume.
So by like I said, she had I'm gonna watch you, I'm gonna listen, but I need to see it in the ring. You need that. You got it. Now get that. Come on, Harley. If you can get that down, you got a fan. But other than that, I mean, timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May, must see segments. I have been watching, just not as I used to have been watching. But again, the highlights of Dynamite and Collision have been Harley Cameron, timeless Tony Storm, and Mariah May. Cesar, thoughts?
Nah, you didn't miss at all. That's the highlights. That's the best parts of the shows. Um, Tony Storm had a great match with Mariah May sitting out there, and now she's the one doing the mock. She's mocking the champion. She's showing up like her. Luther bought back the shoe on fucking Collision, and Storm sneaked into the ring, surprising Mariah.
I
Uh,
forgot.
fucking fucking yeah. Harley Cameron is a fucking this bitch can sing. All right, she ain't bad to look at. Right, she's hilarious. This bitch can sing. This bitch can do ventriloquy. All right. The fucking Sasha puppet is gold. Okay. She can't control her emotions. Just she flicked that bitch off, and Renee had to grab it, and then her finger still hitting that shit later. Yeah. Uh, yeah. The character work, good shit. The talents that she has bringing into the character work, doubly good shit. Yeah, she need a little bit of work on the wrestling. She need a little bit of work on the wrestling. I know what you're saying, Sticks. We watching Harley Cameron. Okay, yeah, she just got her first dub. She's been taking the L. She's paying her dues. But literally, she can't wrestle as good as Sasha Botch. She's not as good as Chris Stat.
I'm not saying that she isn't, but also Sasha has been in at the Fed. She's been there. She's already got a leg up. Whereas Harley is just like what? She maybe has been wrestling maybe 2 years. Otherwise, she's been doing like outside of wrestling stuff. Like she did the Iconics, like when they left WWE, when they got canned, she did their TNA song. Like she's doing a bunch of other things, but she has seen that for her to be able to be relevant at AEW, she not only we talked about she got the character work in, but now she's got to put that work in the ring. Now she's collecting those L's, which is what you're going to do in the beginning of your career. She's doing that, but she's making it so that even though you know she's going to collect an L, you're still going to have your eyes on that match because she's going to do something during that match that's going to make it so that, okay, I can look past the horrible in-ring work, but the character work is what you're there to watch. And quite frankly, in AEW, I mean, there might be, if you're lucky, 5 women that in the ring can go. So if you can distinguish yourself with the character work to bring the eyes into your match and keep you relevant, even if you're on a 100 and something match losing streak, but if you bring eyeballs to keep yourself relevant, even though you're in that losing streak, you're doing something that is greater, that will allow you to build yourself so that when they start picking up them dubs for you, you're going to not only have the momentum.
Is Sticks saying that Harley Cameron is the R-Truth of AEW? Is that what you're saying, Sticks?
Jesus Christ, what are we going to call this?
Disrespect.
The Mexican woman R-Truth? Is that what we're going to call this episode?
No, I failed to mention when Tony Storm was mocking Mariah in her match, and was dressed as Mariah May, Mariah was on commentary, and she said, yeah, she's doing a pretty good impersonation, but she's missing two important
Important
things.
things.
She
Oh,
had
yeah.
her hands on her breasts when she said that. See,
Yeah.
if you go back to watch, she's like, she's missing two big important
That's
things.
what I'm saying. Mariah, Tony, Harley, they are the reasons to watch AEW.
Well, and
And
beer cheese osprey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give the devil his due. Maybe it's the Mangria talking. All right. Ricochet's starting to grow on me.
Of course he is.
Starting to grow on me, all right?
Because he's a heel.
Get it. I get it. The scissors,
You like,
he's doing the us gimmick.
yeah.
I get it. All right. It's starting to grow on your boy over here.
Yeah. Like you're getting it. He's being that douchey cringe guy for the character work. I can definitely tell you that Sting fan that was sitting up front was probably hating that them niggas was wrestling.
He was sharpening the bat during the match.
Yeah.
Knife.
Yeah.
Chipping away at that
fucking power bomb on the thing though was vicious,
That
bro.
was gnarly. Yeah, that was gnarly. Because I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No, it's because it's such a flat. It's actually a really good spot because it's such a flat sports. Yeah,
this big and his spine landed right on that shit. Ooh.
Like you're gonna have to throw the spine like right on spine on the pine.
Bad time.
But they had a good match too. They had a good match too.
Yeah, Swerve and Ricochet, excellent main event.
Yeah, really good main event.
And the fact where he put his hands up and he hit him in the dick.
Yeah, flying over and then took advantage of it.
That was creative. Somebody produced that wasn't Tony Skeets. Somebody who who can put a match together produced that.
That was probably Kenny. Fucking funny shit about Kenny when the pyro went off. He was like,
when he went bang.
Yeah. When he was like, I didn't expect all that shit. Will Ospreay was like, yeah, nigga, what kind of pyro budget we running? You know what? Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I was sports entertained watching AT-Dub this week. But yeah, Harley Cameron's a goat. She ain't about to beat Sasha Botch, but still,
she's got it. She needs that.
If she's working this hard, probably by next year, I wouldn't be mad seeing her with the title.
Well, let's just even fast forward this. Like they're gonna face each other. I think it's next Saturday when they do Grand Slam Australia.
No. It's Saturday. It's not next Saturday. It's Saturday.
Yeah. This coming up Saturday. If she can look respectable against Sasha in that match, the future is going to look bright for her because I mean Sasha's put the time in. She's the history that we talk about with her in WWE with Bayley, Charlotte, all that stuff. If she can look respectable in that match, that's going to let you know the work that she's put in. She's on the upward trajectory. Like I know all three of us are gonna. Obviously, she's not gonna win.
Yeah, because I can blame that on the WWE poisoning of my brain. They're in their hometown. What happens when you're in your hometown? You get fucked up. If it's your birthday or you're in your hometown, gonna die. So that's my thing.
I mean, we're gonna get at least one or two moments in that match where it's like, oh shit, she might have a chance to win it. Like they got Sasha on that Kenny Omega belt collector trip going right now. Like she's the female belt collector. Yeah. And at some point that bottom's going to fall out where she's going to start slowly losing a belt here and there. And then maybe she runs off to New Japan or she'll focus her time on the New Japan. And then they'll allow the other women of AEW to come up. But I mean, obviously that's not now. But if Harley looks respectable in that match, I mean, AEW is going to have something with her.
By the way, if I had full creative control of my character, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do what Sasha's doing. She looks like an idiot with 4 belts. Those belts are bigger than her. She looks like a child running out there with 4 toys. It looks ridiculous. If I had creative
control, because the belts look ugly.
Well, that and come on, this is overkill. You're not Kenny Omega. You're a decent wrestler. You're not the greatest wrestler of all time. Have a great run with one belt. Keep one belt. Elevate one belt, your company's belt, the TBS belt. Elevate that belt. Make it credible. Don't go out and start taking everybody's fucking belt and defending them once a year. That's ridiculous. That's just my opinion. And I've been drinking. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are done here on the tripod. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we're just getting started. This is the first tripod of Black History Month. And when we come back, we're gonna have what is it? Vengeance. We got Vengeance Day to talk about. A
Yep.
lot more TNA nonsense, AEW nonsense, all that good stuff. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, we do what we do best here on the tripod, and we give that big ups to Stallion Pete.